welcome to the Fantasy Back Porch Hour. We are Lil D.
Howdy, howdy.
Good Matata brother.
Means no worries.
Damn straight. Sleeves the Fantasy Alchemist. I am Bear. This is Outlaw. Let's do it.
Well, we got something a little different for y'all tonight. First off, we do.
I know I'm scared.
You should be.
I'm excited. I'll hold.
Wow, you should. Well, if you're excited, then I'm really scared. Go on.
I'm indifferent. First thing we're going to do is stop touching me.
Okay.
Second thing we're going to do is we're going to welcome everybody over to the Bear Den here.
Howdy, y'all. All right, I got a minute. Go.
No one cares.
I do. We got a minute.
You're wasting your
All right,
minute.
here's the thing. Last week, things happened that don't normally happen and may never happen again. Peyton Manning, 7 touchdowns, will not happen again. Shut up. Okay, shit happens, all right? That's just the way shit goes. DeMarco Murray, not going to happen again. I mean, Victor Cruz might happen again. Unlikely, but it's a possibility. Here's my thing. Don't base the rest of your season on what happened in week 1. Don't look at somebody and say, oh, they underperformed. Calvin Johnson, oh, he underperformed. Roddy White, oh, he underperformed. Aaron Foster underperformed. Don't try and trade him for somebody that overperformed in week 1. Stick with who you know is going to get you points over the season, okay? That's what you need to do. This is, it's hair of the tortoise. Be the tortoise, don't be the hare, all right? It's a slow progress. Just live with it. Don't base everything on 1 week.
Well, that was the Bear Den. Really hairy. A little bit scary. We'll bring it over to a much... We'll bring it over to a much safer place, like Little D's big house.
Oh yeah. All right. So we've made word of it before, but I am in a different league than these 3
For this year.
handsome gentlemen. Just for this year, yes. I'm in an 8-man league. So obviously in an 8-man league, you're going to get some better players than in a 12-man league.
Well, we're all in the same league.
Well, we are all in the same 8-man league,
league.
but they're in an additional 12-man league.
We're teaching him.
There, that. So
He is Grasshopper.
I will be Grasshopper.
Go on.
I will be Grasshopper if Peyton Manning continues to get me 51 points.
Won't happen.
I will be Grasshopper if Demarius Thomas continues to get me 35 points.
Won't happen.
I will be Grasshopper if I continue to get 170 points each week.
Won't happen. But
Yeah, in a
continue on.
PPR league,
Anyways.
you might be able to average 125, 130 at best.
Well, 170, I am good with getting 170 points in a week. That is what I finished with this week. I actually beat my dad. Sorry, Dad, if you're watching this. Sucks to suck.
Kenny.
Um,
Wow. I'm not saying that too. But, all right.
Arian Foster did not perform like I had hoped he would.
No.
He didn't perform like anyone hoped he would.
No.
12 points. I made some good last-minute decisions. I dropped Mike Wallace into my bench, and
Good move.
Yeah, that was a good move.
who I started in his place, not necessarily a good move, but better than Mike Wallace, Torrey Smith.
All that matters is it was better.
It was better.
Jacoby Jones got hurt? Yeah. He
More
did.
points is more points.
This is true. I regretted dropping the Broncos defense and starting the Steelers defense.
Yeah.
That you should have, but it's
Steelers defense.
You don't know.
They were playing Tennessee.
Yeah, you could have
I
seen
know.
that.
Yeah.
And then Denver had, 2-3 interceptions just in the first half?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but...
I mean, come on now.
Well, that was Little D's big house. We're gonna exit his house and head over to the Outlaws' hideaway.
No one's allowed in here but me. My hideout.
No one wants to be there but you.
That's true.
I'm actually going to follow up a little bit on what was said by the Bear in his den, and where he was talking about, players having big weeks in week 1, such as Peyton Manning, Victor Cruz. You can't count on that every week. What I want to say is a term that's that's used a lot by fantasy analysts, and that's fantasy panic. Don't get caught up in fantasy panic. For instance, as I mentioned before, Jerome Simpson had a big week. Great example, because if you had a wide receiver that didn't perform good, or even like a flex player, say you picked up David Wilson as your flex player, and of course, 2 fumbles and he got benched, and lost you 2 points in the long run. Don't panic and drop David Wilson and try to pick up somebody like Jerome Simpson just to try and replace him. Don't panic. Lamar Miller, another great example.
Yeah.
Only scored 2 fantasy points in PPR leagues, and that's only because he caught that one pass, and that was the only thing that kept them in positive points. You can't panic based on that. You can't look at week 1 and see a poor performance because even Arian Foster and Doug Martin did not have phenomenal games. Okay, Doug Martin did leech a touchdown. I don't want to say leech a touchdown.
He did.
Doug Martin did get a touchdown, a short yardage touchdown. That was the only thing that saved him this week. Other than that, his stats were abysmal. Arian Foster didn't have good stats. DeMarco Murray had great stats. Reggie Bush had great stats. Reggie Bush is also banged up after putting up those great stats.
Yeah.
You can't get into a fantasy panic and, drop players or try and trade away players just because of a poor week 1 performance. You can't bank on picking up these other players to replace them because, I tell you, if Lamar Miller is your flex play and you think you're going to panic and pick up Jerome Simpson or somebody else that had a week 1 fluke, you got to look at these guys. Lamar Miller's the main guy. He is the running back in Miami. None of them had a good week. He's still the guy in Miami. Jerome Simpson is a WR2. Not a very good one to start with.
Yep.
So that was the hideaway.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of good information there. But now we're going to enter into the alchemy lab. This is where I teach everybody how to make trades, or in my case, how to get all your trades vetoed. Because apparently, I have made too many good trades in the past that I'm not allowed to make any more trades.
That's partially my fault.
It is partially your
They
fault.
were good trades for me, too.
Yes, they were.
It's a lot of Jeffrey's fault.
Now, it is very much so the referee / fantasy eggplant's fault.
Yes.
Now, I made a trade. It got vetoed before it was accepted. I had a trade for LaShawn McCoy, giving me Adrian Peterson, Ray Rice, and LaShawn McCoy. You can pretty much bet I'm winning the league right then and there.
If you had traded Ray Rice for LaShawn McCoy, then it would have been fine.
I was giving up Anquan Bolden and a future draft pick. How great of a trade is that?
What round?
An 8th.
Ooh.
Yeah, what a great trade.
For you.
Veto.
For you.
Yeah, that's why it's a veto.
Okay, so obviously you shared that with the ref prior to it.
Well, because the referee wanted Stephen Smith for Anquan Bolden, and I'm not doing it.
Oh, no.
No.
Not yet.
No, not especially when I can turn Bolden into McCoy.
You're not turning Bolden into McCoy.
I was going to, but it
He
got
might.
vetoed before it happened.
He might.
Here's the other trade I have going on. It's actually going on currently, but I know this one is going to get vetoed as well. I'm going to trade David Wilson away for a number 2 pick, even though I like David Wilson, and I'm not freaking out about David Wilson. I think David Wilson's still going to get his carries in New York. But I'm going to trade him away and add on a number 2 future draft pick for Julio Jones.
Oh, you're getting Julio Jones?
I'm getting Julio Jones.
You really think the rest of the league has brain
No.
damage?
Well, they did last year when they vetoed Arian Foster and gave me Adrian Peterson instead.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
So, keep trying. That's what it comes. If you find the sucker in your league, or the multiple ones, as in what's apparently happening this year in the Keeper League,
I hope
keep
so.
after it. Keep after it. Eventually, one of them's going to go through. That's how I turned Greg Jennings into Julio Jones last year and Steven Jackson into Adrian Peterson. It just takes persistence. And to find the guy that likes one-year players so much, he's willing to give up his best player for it.
Yeah.
That's how you become a fantasy alchemist. What you have to do, Anquan Bolden had a huge week.
Yeah.
200 yards, touchdown, 13 catches.
I know.
Gigantic week, especially in PPR. Cash in on him now. He's not going to have that every week. He's going to be a good wide receiver. He's going to get points for people.
Yeah.
He's going to be a good fantasy wide receiver. But he's not the number 1 he was this week.
I still think it's funny that
that's
you
true.
think you're going to get Julio Jones.
I just have one question.
That trade's happening.
How many points did Bolden get for you?
None. He was on my bench.
That's what I figured. Okay.
But I started
Check
Deshaun Jackson and Marcus Colston in his place, so
Oh, Colston.
he had a decent week.
Yeah, he
That's
had over
good,
20
Bolden?
points.
No,
That's what
but I had over 50 points for my wide receivers.
Okay. And had you played Bolden?
Would you ever turn that down?
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't.
No,
Had you played Bolden?
my mistake was not starting David Wilson. I mean, starting David Wilson was
That
my
was a
mistake.
mistake.
However, I still scored more.
How did you know that's going to be a mistake?
Exactly.
No.
And I still scored more points than anybody in the league.
Yeah.
I won my game by
I
over
know.
60 points. So,
Black flag.
I am the black flag winner
Black
this
flag.
week. Once again, the fantasy alchemist proves to be on top.
Yeah, he's
As-
2-0.
as
Both
I always
legs.
will.
One of both.
As long as my guys perform better than my opponents.
Well, that's all it
Well,
comes down to.
that's what fantasy football is.
Exactly. I didn't want to jinx myself. So,
Stay frosty, my friends.